Hello and welcome to another Crusader Kings free dev diary. This is number 2 and today we'll be looking over the medieval map. First image is just the screenshot they have for us, but let's get down to the words they have written for us. Hello everyone! I would like to take a moment to talk about the map of Crusader Kings 3, what the vision for the map is and how it is different from Crusader Kings 2. Let's start with our ambitions. CK2 had several parts of the map that was outdated, and to be frank, a bit underdeveloped. When we started to update the map for CK3, we knew that we wanted to take a pass at everything, do additional research, and update the different areas accordingly. This goes for the entire de jure title hierarchy, so there are several new kingdoms and duchies present. In terms of scope, the map will roughly match that of CK2. I know I will disappoint those of you hoping for China, but sadly, it will not be on the map. We will, however, have a few new additions. The entirety of Tibet will be present, unlike CK2, where the most eastern parts were excluded, and sub-Saharan Africa is also extended, where we've gone all the way to the Nigerian coast. Excellent. Big map, big game. Let's keep going. When setting the map visuals, province layout, rivers and more, the focus has always been on clarity. The map should be easy to read and get information from. For example, you should be able to read most of the terrain simply by looking at the map, without the need to click on the province or tooltip it. In order to find that out, while rivers should be easy to see and let you know if you will cross one when moving armies around. We represent the map on 3 different zoom levels. When zoomed far out, the map will turn into an actual paper map, allowing for an easy overview and stylish screenshots. That's interesting. I would like to see a actual image of that. Zoom in a bit and you will have the 3D map with the typical political overlay. Great for interacting with your vassals and other realms. Zoom in even further and you'll see the names of all the counties along the terrain. As we strip away the realm colors, perfect for moving armies around and knowing where to pick your battles, without the need to switch around to different map modes. But don't worry, we will still have several map modes for easy accessing different information. I like what I'm hearing so far with just zooming in and out, but if you could have the option to not do that, perhaps, maybe I want to be close up and see it in paper, I'm not sure. We'll see when we get more information about it. One of the most notable changes is how we handle baronies. In CK2, counties were the smallest entity we had on the map, a province if you will, with several baronies represented through the interface of the county view. In CK3, we took the next logical step and made baronies into their own provinces. We have been able to create a map with much more granularity and better accuracy. Most counties will normally consist of 2 to 5 baronies, with some exceptions. The amount of provinces will be noticeable when waging war, as it offers a larger degree of movement for your armies. More of that in the future. And we are brought to our first screenshot, which I have, oh, not that one, I have zoomed in here. The Barony of Ipswich. Holder, Duke, Griff Godwinson of East Anglia. Terrific, so there's a Duke of East Anglia here, clearly, and then you have the county lined out by the white lines and the baronies lined out by the jotted black lines. So there's 4 baronies here, with this one here being empty for development. So castle, town, bishopric. Excellent. I covered this in my initial overlook of the initial trailer and screenshots, and this was exactly what I thought was going to be happening, and it appears it has. And we have supply limits here. Terrain, plains, development 5. Supply limits 12,750. Development 5. That doesn't mean that there's 5 baronies, because there's not. Unless you can make more, but that would mean creating extra province, and I don't think that would be available. The supply limits, however, very interesting. You have 12,750 men without dying, but this development does worry me. I hope that we are able to build buildings as usual and we're not limited to these developments, because every castle and every town does look relatively similar. Maybe this one here has 1 extra development. I hope there are buildings and you can develop your castles more customizable as you do in CK2. I hope it's not just as a stack of developments like in EU4. But even, it looks less in EU4, because EU4 you have 3 different developments, and it does alter the way you change the look of your city. This here, I'm guessing you just do 1 extra development, and it'll maybe make the wall thicker or something. I'm not too sure. I think it'd be much more good looking the other way. To give you a good idea of the increased province density, here is a comparison of the British Islands in CK2 and CK3, being on the left and on the right respectively. This, I'm not going to zoom in on that because it'll make my eyes go crazy, but you can clearly see there's about 3 times as many things, maybe even 4 times. I'm going to say 3 times as many provinces. Obviously, it's probably the same amount of counties, just baronies now show up on the map as tiles. Before you all go nuts about playable baronies, no, you cannot play as a baron. The lowest playable rank will still be that of a count. The emphasis will therefore be on the counties rather than the individual baronies. As such, baronies exist with a few things in mind. For example, they can never leave a county. This means counties stay the same over time, avoiding weird splits where a single barony goes independent or to another realm, reducing that hideous border gore ever so slightly. The number of baronies within a county is one factor that represents its wealth and how good it is. Another important factor is the terrain. A county with a lot of deserts will not be as beneficial as one with a lot of farmlands, for example. That is terrific. The desert lands will no longer be overpowered and the farmlands will be able to get the exact worth that they are. However, playable baronies, it would have been interesting. I'm sure perhaps it's a potential mod now that it's on the map, but we'll have to see. And as for not having to take over single baronies in war anymore, that's great. It was, however, interesting when you get a Holy Order creator random cast on your land, but we'll see how they handle that. Speaking of terrain, we have several different terrain types spread out across the map. Instead of having a single terrain spread out across large areas of the map, we differentiate between similar terrain types by separating them, such as forest and taiga, or plains and drylands. Not only does it make the map look and feel more distinct in different parts of the world, they also have different impacts on gameplay. Let's have a look at that, a bit more zoomed in. And again, this would be the Duchy, I think, with the yellow lines, the Duchy of Kent. You can see a county split along here, so a county over here, a county down here, and a county there. So 3 counties, represented by the 3 castles that we see. And you have two towns. Oh no, because there was a county line here. So town and bishopric each. They all appear to have a town and bishopric each with room to be built. Is a room to be built? Okay, maybe you don't have a room to be built. I can't see a line so much here, but you appear to have 2 lines here to be built. Oh no, because there's a chapter. Okay, so it's pretty much a lot of room to be built. Yes, well, I'm looking at the flags here. You have yellow, you have reds. That's one way to differentiate between who owns it. Also purple up here. Unless that means individual lords, but not sure. No, I do appreciate the bridges. Maybe you can have bridge combat. Maybe if you fortify a bridge, you can have somewhere like the Twins in the Game of Thrones where it's impassable unless besieged. Be very interesting to get into, but let's keep going here. And we also have a picture of Maghreb to have a look into where you can see the terrain types very different. That looks a lot more like a bishopric, like a church, than a mosque. What's going on here? The towns don't look culturally different. Maybe they do. I just can't see it. The castles also don't look culturally different. It'd be nice if they were culturally different depending on who you are and your architectural style, but maybe that'll be implemented later. The game just still has a lot of time before it's released. Then we have impassable terrain. Oh, terrific! These are far more frequent, and in many cases much larger than you'll be used to in CK2. We've essentially used these for any area that we consider uninhabited enough to warrant it not being part of an existing county. Some areas have plenty of small impassable provinces, such as the mountains surrounding Bohemia, while others have fewer and far larger pieces of inhospitable land, such as the deserts of Arabia and Syria. Impassable terrain cannot be traversed by armies, often creating bottlenecks. Terrific! Exactly what we need in the game. That you will have to pass through or perhaps even choose to go around, should it be heavily fortified. That is exactly what I wanted. Thank you very much. we'll have a look at that last image here. So you won't be able to pass through here. You'd have to go through here. So you'd have this castle very fortified. You'll have an area very fortified over here, because you can fortify your bishoprics or towns. You can go through the mountains here. Oh yes, I'm a huge fan of this, because before you just go from here to there. Now you have to go through here, and if it's a castle with good fortification, you're going to be fucked, basically. That sounds terrific. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this early sneak peek at the map, and I'm sure to show more in the future. Yeah, this is... I'm liking everything I'm seeing so far in this episode. There are some questionable things like the development I'm not too sure on. I would like it to be a bit more dynamic than that. But we'll see. We'll just have another quick look at all of the pictures here. Yeah, it's starting to grow on me a lot. So I hope we continue to get good updates. But thank you for joining me today. If you want to see the dev diary for yourself, I'll leave a link down below. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching again. Goodbye.